Hi guys, it's Tanya. Welcome or welcome back. And today I wanted to share with you the book that I read in November. And November actually was such a good reading month for me because I loved most of the books that I read. Most of the books that I read received 5-star rating from me. Let's just jump into them and I will introduce these wonderful books to you. The first book that I finished in November was Anne of Green Gables. And I'm sure everybody knows this book and what it's about, everybody loves it, and I was not an exception from the rule. I loved this book with my whole heart. In fact, I ordered another edition of this book and also the continuation of the story, so Anne of Avonlea. The books also arrived. I will show you. Here they are, my new 2 editions, and I think they're so beautiful. I really like this one and this. I love her imagination and how she's optimistic and like, I don't know, I just love everything about Anne of Green Gables. Now I have 2 copies and I'm not sorry about it. So, another book that I also actually just recently finished. We Have Always Lived in the Castle. And this book, it is so strange. It's hard to talk about it, to be honest. So I read another book by Shirley Jackson, which is The Haunting of the Hill House, and again, both of these books, they are so beautifully written. Like, the prose is so crystal clear. I don't know if it's a good description, but it's just such a pure prose. I don't know, I really like her writing style in both of the books. I really like them. Just The Haunting of the Hill House wasn't really like a book for me. I'm not big on horror stories, but this is not a horror story. It is still quite spooky, but just because of the character and like of the way she describes it. She's a very, I don't know, does she have like some kind of mental disease or something? I'm not sure, but she definitely is a very strange, not child, she's 18 years old, but person, girl. And I loved this book. I really liked it, and I was so grateful that it was not like a horror story. It was just a story about people who are very unique and very special, very different. I don't know, it's really hard to talk about this book, but I really liked it and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Another book, this one was an exception actually. So I read The Dragon Sword and Wind Child, and this book only received 3 stars out of 5 from me. I didn't hate it, but I also didn't like it. It was just like a meh for me, like it's just like just fine. Nothing special, nothing particularly interesting. I wasn't really fascinated with the characters. I wasn't very much into the characters. If you don't know, this is a Japanese fantasy novel based on Japanese mythology, and this is the interesting part about this book. Like, the Japanese myths woven into the story, they were really interesting for me, but I just wasn't into the characters. I really didn't care much for the main character. So yeah, this book just 3 out of 5 stars. On Goodreads, a lot of people really liked it. This is just my personal preference. I wasn't a big fan of it, but I'm sure there will be lots of people who absolutely love this book. Especially it is different. It is different from Western type of fantasy. This is all based in like East and Eastern culture, Japanese culture in particular. Another book though I loved with my whole heart again. Not as much as Anne of Green Gables, but I still really loved it, and it was The Little White Horse. And this book is so imaginary. It's like it seems like it's taking place in just a child's imagination. There are no borders, there are no rules, nothing. Everything just plays out. I know, it was so playful and so imaginative. Like I said, I really liked it. I definitely want my children to read this book when I have children. So I'm going to keep this one, and I agree with the J.K. Rowling that it's a wonderful book, and I absolutely loved it. Oh, it was so good. And also it was really very beautifully written. I liked the writing style. So wonderful book. Another book that I finished in November was The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin, or Ursula, probably Ursula K. Le Guin. And this book also received 5 out of 5 stars for me. I think Ursula K. Le Guin is probably going to be one of my all-time favorite authors. I am now thinking about getting her the Earthsea Tales of the Earthsea, but the illustrated edition. I really want this book with the illustrations. I think it's going to be so wonderful. So when I get my salary, I will get it. But now I finished this book, and this is basically a story of an anthropologist. Not really an anthropologist. He is like a part of a crew who was sent to a different world, to like a different solar system, different planet, and basically it's like a future, it's a faraway future when there are a lot of different worlds in the space, and they have like one organization. They're like all, it's like UN. It's like UN, United Nations, but in terms of like the whole space. And so there is this one planet that doesn't belong to this organization yet, and so they send like a crew of people to invite them into the organization. And normally how they do it, just one person goes to the planet, because if it's just one person, it is not an invasion, it is just a curiosity, and people would not be scared. So we follow this, and he is basically an anthropologist, so he studies the people of the planet, and he just learns about their traditions, and he also explains them about this interstellar organization where he is inviting them. But people on this planet are very unique because they are, what's the word, androgynous, how do you pronounce this? Androgynous, the word will be on the screen. So basically they don't have a gender, like they are genderless. They only have one period in a month. It's kind of similar to female period, but in their term it's like the time for their sex activities, and so at this particular time of the month they acquire a gender, and it's like they cannot predict what gender they become. They just become feminine or masculine, and then they do all the things. Like at this period of time they are very sexually active, and then after the period finishes they go back into their genderless state. And they live on this planet which is very cold. The planet is called Winter because it's freezing there, and actually our main character is constantly freezed. And so yeah, he just studies the society, and he is trying to attract them into this interstellar organization. And I enjoyed it. I really liked it. Ursula K. Le Guin is my first sci-fi author, so I like this book, even though I don't have much experience with sci-fi, and I would highly recommend it to everyone. Again, I really liked the writing style as well. And the last book that I also finished in the beginning of November is Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson. And this book again is very interesting. Like again, it's difficult to talk about this book, but basically it's a story of a girl discovering her sexuality. And it's like a semi-autobiographical story, because Janet Winterson is a gay writer, and it's kind of based on her family and her experiences as a child. But in this book, our main character comes from a very religious family. Her mother is a very religious woman. Like, sometimes I was just like, how, like, why? I'm not very much into religion, so I didn't always understand her mother and the way her mother was thinking, and the way, like, her mother and like the whole church that they attended were behaving towards her. I was like, just let her be. And I don't know, I was so compassionate. I don't know, this book really moved me. I really felt so sorry for this girl. I was like, just let her be. And that's also what she was thinking, even though like everybody was against her, and she just knew who she was, and she just wanted to be that person, and she never let anybody to persuade her otherwise. And I really liked the main character and how she behaved and how she reacted to certain things in the book, and I have a lot of respect for her. And this book is, I really enjoyed it, I really liked it, and I would highly recommend it to everyone. So, also 5 out of 5 stars. And there you have it, guys, all the books that I read in November. Let me know in the comments what books are you interested in, which books you would like to give a go from this list, and which books you read in November, which books were your favorites. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you soon in the next videos. Thank you, bye.